Hey guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I am your host, Nick Nack, hanging out with you guys tonight. You know, guys, one consequence, directly or indirectly, of being a long time collector like I have, and I've been at this game for many moons, as they might say. I've been an adult collector probably since 1996 or so. So that's almost 24 years I've been in this game, guys, and I've hardly sold a thing in that time. So I have accumulated a ton of shit. Some might say that and make me a hoarder, and they wouldn't be wrong. But nevertheless, I have a ton of shit, and I have a ton of stuff that I don't even display anymore. And one of which is 3 3/4 inch Star Wars. I have a ton of 3 3/4 inch Star Wars that I collected roughly between the years of 1996 to about 2006, when I stopped and began collecting Sideshow collectibles instead. That's when my kind of a big transition here in my collection was around 2006. Nevertheless, I still have a ton of 3 3/4 inch stuff that I've hardly even ever showed off on this channel. So tonight, we're going to go back into my archive room storage area. We're going to pull up a random box and we're going to check out some figures inside. Let's do it right now. Alrighty guys, so check it out. Back over in here is where a ton of my Star Wars 3 3/4 inch has been stored recently. I've moved these around a couple times, as I probably showed off here on the Plastic Planet. But we're going to be checking out, I'm going to grab one of these boxes at random, one of these tackle boxes that I keep my Star Wars figures in at random, and let's see what is inside. We're just going to unbox it and show off the figures inside. Let's do it. Alrighty guys, so check it out. I have pulled 4 of these Shimano tackle boxes that I keep 3 3/4 inch action figures in. I've had these for a number of years now. Bought them all at Walmart years and years ago. And yeah, let's go ahead and check out this collection. I got 3 boxes out here. This, of course, is not all my collection. This, of course, is not even a fraction of my collection, but it's 3 random boxes of figures. And so let's just see which ones are inside.
They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals.
Alrighty guys, so I've set up all my lighting here, and I hope this actually comes out really nice. Sometimes I have issues getting smaller figures to focus with the limited equipment I have here on the Plastic Planet. But nevertheless, let's just start out with the first box, and we have Hammerhead. Look at him. That is a nice looking Hammerhead. I believe this one is a reissue. This wasn't the first Hammerhead that Hasbro came out with. I don't remember what line he came out in, but he was not the original, which came out with the Power of the Force 2 line back in 1996, 1997. This was a different figure, but he is really damn nice, and he is actually probably my favorite 3 3/4 inch Hammerhead that I have. He is really cool. I think he came with a little drink even. He is cool. Next up, I think we have Masamita. This is from the Revenge of the Sith line from 2005, if memory serves. He is pretty damn awesome. Look at him. Very cool. He doesn't have soft goods. These are all plastic, molded plastic. Sometimes, when it came to 3 3/4 inch, soft goods could just never quite fit 3 3/4 inch figures because they're so small, in my opinion. Sometimes they would, but not often. So I have almost rather enjoyed molded plastic for capes and things like that with 3 3/4 inch figures. Next up is Padme Amidala, and this might have been from the Power of the Jedi line, I'm not sure, but that of course is the Celebration Padme from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Next up, Reese. Look at that guy. I think this one might have been a Power of the Force 2 figure. I'm not sure. He's really bulky, as you can see, and that was indicative of those Power of the Force 2 figures, as everyone knows. So that leads me to think he was from Power of the Force 2, but I'm not exactly sure. Just taking a little sip of my soda, guys. Another Padme Amidala. This is from Episode 2. I know that. From, oops, don't have her in shot yet. There she is. She was from Episode 2 with that sexy little blue outfit. I think that was from when they were at the Lars homestead. So there she is. Very cool. Move these guys back a little bit. Next, we got Episode 1 Watto. That was very cool. That's from the original Episode 1 line from 1999. Boy, I had a fun time collecting that line. I had every single figure from that line prior to the film even coming out. That was a good year, man. 1999. I remember that so well. I just graduated from college and was running around with my friends. Had a job, so I had a little money, but I was still living at home. I was the typical loser in mom's basement buying action figures, but it was awesome. It was awesome. Just going out with my friends every night, drinking and buying Star Wars figs late at night at the 24-hour hypermart. It was awesome. I'm not sure. I think this guy is from a set. This is an episode 2 figure. I think these are the Jedi Temple archive droids, if I'm not mistaken. There they are. It's been a while since I've watched episode 2, but there they are. These are really good figures. I've never shown these guys off. Those are really good 3 3/4 inch figures there. And I liked how episode 2, you know, the Star Wars figures were beginning to get really awesome. Any kind of figure that levitated, including Watto here, I can't find his stand, but any kind of figure that levitated would come with like a clear display base, so you could kind of have him levitating. How awesome is that? That's a really cool looking figure. So I don't remember their names, but I do know that these 2 droids came in a 2-pack from episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and they were the Jedi archive droids. So very fun. Alrighty, next up. I don't know this guy's call name. I do know he is from, I believe, episode 4, A New Hope, the original Star Wars. He is really cool. I think he might have been in the Sandcrawler at the beginning. If I'm mistaken, let me know, but I think so. He has a very cool looking droid. Again, I don't remember his call letters, but very cool. I love droids, as you guys know. Let's see here. What else we got in here? Oh, this is a nice figure. This is a armored Death Star gunner. I don't remember what line he came out in, but he is very cool. He's a little dusty. I think I obviously had him displayed for a long time on my shelves and never dusted him, but he looks really good. Very cool. He is obviously a later figure. You can tell that's indicative with the proportional body size and the fact that his Stormtrooper blaster, if I can get it to focus, his Stormtrooper blaster is correctly proportioned, whereas in the older figures from 1996, 1997, the Power of the Force 2 line, not only were the figures too bulked up, but the weapons were really bulked up in that line too. So, really cool. Damn nice figure. Alright, next up, these are just random figures I'm pulling out, guys, from this box. Here is Padme Amidala. This, of course, is the Episode 1 Phantom Menace version of her from the Theed Palace battle. At the end of Episode 1, she comes with her little Naboo blaster, as well as a grappling hook blaster combo weapon there, that, of course, they use in the film. Very cool. Again, I love the Episode 1 figure line. Say what you will about the movie. And I actually enjoyed the movie quite a bit, but say what you will about the movie, but the figures were really, really good at that point in the history of Hasbro, in my opinion. They did come a long way since the 1996, 1997 Power of the Force 2 line. They'd really come into their own. They still had a playability to them, but they were really scaled nice. The price at the time was really nice. I think they were retailing around $5, maybe $6 total at the time. And yeah, really damn nice. This has been kind of a theme in this box. Here's another Padme. I guess I've always been kind of a Padme fan. She's the mother of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, so how can you not love Padme? So there is an Episode 2 Padme. That is, of course, is Pilot Padme from the beginning of Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. When she was in decoy disguise, because, of course, there was a hit put out on her life. And, of course, her poor bodyguard, Sabé, I believe, got killed on that landing platform on Coruscant there at the beginning of Episode 2. So, yeah, there's a lot of Padmes in this box for whatever reason. Lastly, I have in here the original Qui-Gon Jinn from the Episode 1 line. There he is. This face sculpt's not real good, but again, this was from 1999. I did like that you could have his lightsaber be grasped in both hands at the same time. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal now, but I remember back getting these figures, I thought that was a really, really cool ad, that they could hold a lightsaber with both hands. The articulation had come far enough there. They'd gone beyond the standard 5-point articulation into a much greater field of articulation, so the figure could actually hold its lightsaber, or even sometimes a gun, with 2 hands. That was really cool. So yeah, very cool. There is Qui-Gon. Alrighty, that was the first box, guys. Let's go to the second one. Alrighty, so I've cracked open the next box, and yes, we have a Luke Skywalker here. And this one comes with his T-16 Skyhopper model that he is seen with in Episode 4, A New Hope, or just Star Wars, as us old Gen Xers think of it. This is a very cool piece. I can't remember what line he came out with. I want to say that's a Power of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, he is very cool. You guys can see him. There he is. Very cool. Sometimes the camera wants to focus, sometimes it doesn't. Here's a Gonk droid. I love Gonk droids. My love for Gonk droids goes all the way back to the vintage line. I had a Gonk droid, or as it was known back then, just Power Droid. But this is pretty damn cool. This figure feels a little cheap, honestly, but it's still cool. I'll put him right there. That, of course, is from, I believe that is the Gonk droid from Episode 4, or from the Jawa Sandcrawler. Another figure. This is an Episode 2 C-3PO. In Episode 2, where he hasn't quite been given the gold plating yet, but he's evolved from the Bare Circuit C-3PO that we see in Episode 1. Not my favorite plot point in the prequels. I will admit that. I am a arduent prequel defender, but having Anakin build C-3PO is kind of stupid. I will admit that. I will own that one. That was one where George screwed up that one. But anyway, there's the figure. Kind of cool. Next up, got a little Bosk. Look at that. There is Bosk. This is not the first release of Bosk. This is a later one. So he is very cool. I don't remember what line this one came out of, but that's a very cool looking Bosk. I need to get these old rubber bands off of it. They've actually turned yellow. But yeah, sometimes the figures came wrapped in rubber bands. And this one was pretty dusty. I must have had him displayed for a long time too. Another prequel figure, a Separatist. Can't remember his name. He was from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. He was hanging out with Count Dooku. He had the cool breather apparatus. Very cool character design on him. Yeah, that is very cool. I can't remember his name. I want to say it's Wat Tambor, but I might be mistaken. Very cool. Speaking of Episode 2, got a Geonosian. It's very cool. I know this seems very prequel heavy, but again, I just grabbed 3 boxes. This is so random. If we grabbed another box, it might be more original trilogy heavy. He's not going to stand, so we'll just put him down. At any rate, all right. So here's a original Power of the Force 2 figure. This, of course, is Endor Han Solo. You can tell it's Power of the Force 2. Much more bulked up, much more unproportionate to what a normal person would look like, as was the trend with 1990s action figures. There's, Han Solo. Very cool. See if I can get Padme to stand back up for me. There we go. Let's see here. Here's an Episode 2 figure. Ayla Secura, I believe. If I mispronounced her name, I am sorry. It's been a while. She's very cool. This was an Episode 2 version of her. And I don't know where her blade is. One thing that was really nice, and I don't know if it's on... Yeah, it is on this one. Is what was nice with the Episode 2 line is that the lightsaber hilts were actually die-cast. And the figures came, if you guys can see, with little magnets on their hands. So they could actually, hold a lightsaber very easily in the magnet. That was a really great feature on a lot of these Episode 2 Saga collection figures. I believe that's what they were called. And good luck trying to get her to stand. That was the one bad thing about these Episode 2 figures, is they all came in very dynamic action poses. and they were almost damn near impossible to stand on a shelf without an action figure stand, many of them. So we'll just set her down. Alrighty. So this is a second wave of this, second version of this particular figure, and I believe he came with some bar sets. This is Ponda Baba, or Walrus Man, as he was known in the vintage line, from the Power of the Force 2 line, but this is not a Power of the Force 2 figure. Like I said, this probably came on a, he came in a set with bar stools, I think, because as you guys can see down there, there's a joint in his knees so that he could sit down. So, shit, he just knocked Bosk off. So that's him. That's pretty cool. Here's a Chewbacca. I think this is Power of the Jedi. This, of course, is Chewbacca as Boush's prisoner when Princess Leia delivers Chewbacca to Jabba the Hutt disguised as Boush. So to infiltrate Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. So that's that figure. Here's an interesting figure. And again, I'm missing her gun. I don't know where her gun went. But here's a Padme Amidala figure. Yeah, I know, shock, surprised. I just kind of grabbed the Padme section for some reason. I'm not this obsessed with Natalie Portman or anything. But so this is an interesting figure. This was the first Padme that came out with in Power of the Force 2. This is in the Saga collection. And it's sort of a goofy figure. She's very stuck in this action pose. But check out the yellowing that's gone on her outfit there. That was white. Look how yellow it is. Both on the top piece and then kind of the cod piece down here. If you guys can see that. Yeah, there's a good shot. Look how much yellowing's gone on there. This is only... This figure, I bought this figure in 2002, so this is an 18-year-old figure. But I've never actually seen yellowing on a modern Star Wars figure till now in my own collection. That's interesting. Huh. So anyway, she was cool. She's very sexy. But yeah, that's kind of a wonky, silly figure. But yeah, she came with a big battle droid rifle or blaster. So I'll put her over here. I don't know if she'll... Oh, she stood right up for us. That's great. And then finally, in this box... his little hand came off. Pop that back in. Got a Yoda. This is an... Oops. I believe this is an Episode 2 Yoda. This could be an Episode 3 Yoda. I'm not sure. But I can't remember what line he came out in. But there's a Yoda. Very cool. So yeah, that's that box. All right, let's get to the last one. Alrighty, guys, we are on to our third and final box here tonight. And I'm happy to report there are no Padme or Queen Amidala action figures in this box here. So that is good. I think that was just the luck of the draw. I don't want you guys thinking I have some weird Natalie Portman obsession. Anyway, next up we have a protocol droid. I don't know which his particular call numbers are. I think he was from Echo Base in The Empire Strikes Back, if I'm not mistaken. I used to know his call letters, but I don't remember anymore. If you guys know, let me know in the comments section. He is pretty cool. Next up, ooh, this is a good one. Here's a good one. I forget what line he came in, and I don't know where the hell his gun is, but we got ourselves some Biggs Darklighter here with soft goods. So I think this was the second version of Biggs that came out. I think the first version had a rubber cape, if I'm not mistaken, or a plastic cape. This one has soft goods, and he is more anatomically proportioned correctly. Very cool figure. And here's, speaking of second versions, I know this is the second version of this character to come out. He came out in the original Power of the Force 2 line in 97, I want to say, or on the green card in 97. That wouldn't make him the original, but second wave maybe on the green card. But that is Weequay. This is not that version. This is a later version. This is a second release of him. A much more accurate and aesthetically pleasing release, if I might say so. And much more accurate as far as his outfit goes. That's a really good Weequay. That is a dynamite Weequay. He's got his blaster in his holster. Managed to keep this one together. Some of these I've lost weapons to. And it kind of makes me sick. 'Cause, it's not like I had these as a kid. These were all, adult collectibles basically for me. And I misplaced a lot of stuff from them as I got figures falling over here. All right, let's go on. Let's move on. Next up, we got Hoth Leia. Hoth Princess Leia. And I think this one was from 1998, I believe. And this was a later Power of the Force 2 figure. So they started slimming down later in the line there as Power of the Force 2 went on. This, of course, figure came out pre-Episode 1, so it was before the prequels. But anyway, I was really excited to get this figure in my collection at the time because I had a Hoth Princess Leia in the vintage line as a kid, and that was one figure that I lost in a sandbox or something maddening for me as a young collector and when I was a kid. So I was so excited to get a Hoth Princess Leia back in my collection, albeit in the Power of the Force 2 line. But yeah, very cool. I was very excited to get her in my collection if I can get her to stand. Sometimes Leia is hard to stand sometimes. There we go. All right, next up, this guy is from Jabba's palace. I know that, and I can't remember his name. And he is very cool, from Return of the Jedi. Very cool, very large figure. Look at the size of him. He is just fucking awesome. Sorry. He is really awesome. I'll put him back there. Again, I don't remember his name. If you guys remember, let me know. Alrighty, and next up, oh, this is a sort of a unique figure. Here is Boba Fett. I believe he was the 300th figure. He came in a special box at the time. Came out in maybe 2001, maybe? He was the 300th Hasbro figure. Little soft goods side cloak there. Really nice figure. He actually was in a special box, like I said, but I opened him. No regrets on that, but there he is. That's a nice Boba Fett. That's one of my favorite Boba Fetts, actually. I believe that's the 300th. Couple Jawas here. Got a Jawa 2-pack. And these are from the Clone Wars series. They're supposed to be animated versions of the Jawas. They look really cool, though. I'll show them individually to you guys. There's the first one. I like these a lot. These are great. And there's the second one. There he is. So these are really cool. Shit. And right there. And this one's got a weird foot. He's not going to stand. Alright, so anyway. Alrighty, and last, but certainly not least in this particular box, check it out. I have a Chewbacca. And I believe this Chewbacca, that's a good looking Chewie. This Chewbacca is an Episode 3 Chewbacca. Came with the Revenge of the Sith line. He's very cool. Oh yeah, looking very cool. Oh, shit. Got knocking everyone over now. Anyway, there it is. There. There. Alrighty, hey guys, well that's going to wrap up this edition of The Plastic Planet. That was so random, and it was absolutely random in its nature there. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and thanks for watching this video all the way through. If you are still with me, really, really appreciate it. I hope that wasn't too boring. But again, I'm just trying to give you guys content during this time, what is going on in the world right now, and I'm trying not to just give you guys some escapism. But you know, I can't go out and look for figures right now, and you know, I'm not really in a place where I really feel comfortable buying figures right now too much. So just kind of going back and looking at my old stuff is kind of fun too, and I've got an entire archive room of it. So if you guys like this sort of a presentation tonight, I know it was random, might be kind of boring. Some of these figures are very old and have been around for a long time, and there's nothing new and exciting about any of this. But if you guys like this little trip down pseudo nostalgia to the time in my collecting life when my collection focus was very different, let me know in the comments section if this is something you like. All right, guys, like I said, it's going to wrap things up here on The Plastic Planet. Please like, share, comment. Please do subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and you guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys again real soon. All right, later, guys. Love you. Bye. Alrighty, guys, so check